Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of training and manpower development urges politicians to caution their supporters. Immigration closes border for 24 hours ahead of Saturday's poll. Governor Zulum shares money, food items and logistics to Almajri schools. On business, Central Bank of Nigeria has told people who want to buy or sell foreign currency to talk to their banks. On the international scene, ECOWAS election monitoring team visit the defense headquarters and seek for H3 process. On sport, Chelsea close to King Dry, Paris agreement. Hello and welcome to Standard Voice Television News. That was the headlines and now the news in full. Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of Training and Manpower Development Force Headquarters, Abuja, Hafiz Muhammad Inuwa, was deployed to Northwest Zone to monitor February polls, has urged politicians to caution their supporters ahead of presidential and National Assembly polls slated on Saturday, 25 February 2023. For more on the story, Shuri Magaji reports.
The Supervising Deputy Inspector General of Police, Northwestern States, DIG Hafiz Muhammad Inuwa made the call when he visited Zamfara State Police Command on Thursday, 23 February 2023 for election monitoring and supervision. He addressed officers on election duty, heads of security agencies, representatives of various political parties, religious leaders, civil society organizations, and the press. The DIG said he was in the state as part of the election monitoring and the supervision tower to Northwestern States to address officers and other stakeholders on what is expected from all and sundry before, during, and after the elections.
The police that are the leading internal security agencies must equally go out to re-emphasize this president's commitment and also our resolve that we too were poised to create the enabling environment that the election will take hold in a peaceful and conducive atmosphere by the grace of God. So, in doing so, we are not unmindful of the fact that not only the police and other security agencies that have a stake on the election, all of us here, the politicians, the religious leaders, the political leaders, the civil society organizations, even those that are coming for to observe the conduct of the election, some from outside the country, some from outside Africa too. We are all stakeholders because the main crux of the matter is to have a free, fair, and peaceful conduct of the election.
The DIG added that the Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Alkali Baba, is fully committed to ensuring peaceful and a conducive atmosphere for free, fair, and credible elections, which is part of the aspiration of President Muhammadu Buhari. He called on all political parties and their candidates to play the political game according to the rules and regulations. He called on all political parties and their candidates to play the political game according to the laid down rules and regulations, and to talk to their supporters on the need to be law-abiding at all levels and to shun all violence activities before, during, and after elections. He equally appealed to all stakeholders to continue supporting police and other security agencies, noting that police will continue to be professional in discharging their duties. He said police are apolitical, meaning that they are not to belong to anybody and whoever wins is theirs. Shehu Magaji reporting for Standard Voice Television.
The Nigeria Immigration Service has ordered the closure of the country's borders throughout Saturday for the presidential and National Assembly elections. The Comptroller General of the service, Isa Jerry Idris, gave the directive to command controllers across the country, and the circular made available to newsmen on Thursday. The circular, titled Border Closure for the 2023 Presidential and National Assembly elections, said the federal government has directed the total closure of all land borders effective from 12 hours on Saturday, 25 February 2023 to 12 hours Sunday, 26 February 2023. Accordingly, all command controllers, especially those in the border states, are to ensure strict enforcement of these directives. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum on Thursday shared 734 million naira alongside books and grains and thousands of bags to over 4,945 traditional Islamic schools referred to as Sangaya in Borno State and more famously called Al-Madri system across Nigeria. The 4,955 schools were drawn from across the 27 local government areas of Borno State. The support came from Better Education Service Delivery for All through a collaboration with Borno State Universal Basic Education Board and Borno State Arabic and Sangaya Education Board, which regulates the Al-Madri schools. The distribution took place at the Ramat Square in Maiduguri, and it was attended by thousands of Sangaya and Islamic teachers and students. Executive Secretary of the Universal Basic Education Board, Dr. Hamid Boboi, who was represented by the North-East Zonal Coordinator, Abdullahi S. Jarma, commended Governor Babagana Umar Zulum for his outstanding reform of basic education in Borno. Governor Bello Muhammad Matawalem Maradun presented 450 motorcycles to 4 industrial unions in Zamfara State in fulfillment of an earlier promise he made to support all labor and trade unions in the state. For more on the story, Kulsum Muhammad reports.
The unions include Amalgamated Motorcycle Association, known as Kabu Kabu, who received 150 motorcycles, Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees (NULG), Nigeria Union of Teachers (NUT), and the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria Zamfara State Chapter, who received 100 motorcycles each. Speaking while presenting the motorcycles to the unions, the Director General of APC Gubernatorial Campaign Council in the state, who represented Governor Bello Matawalle at the occasion, Senator Tijani Yahya Tafidan Kaura, said this was part of the efforts of Governor Bello Matawalle to put smiles on the faces of members of the working class and other trade unions in order to boost their morale and productivity. The Director General called on the benefiting associations to make the best use of the motorcycles and at the same time to rally round the administration of Governor Bello Matawalle for the development of the state. In their vote of thanks, on behalf of the beneficiaries, the State Chairman of the Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees (NULG), Comrade Sanusi Isa Gusau, and the Chairman Nigeria Union of Teachers (NUT), Comrade Meikanu Sani Maru, thanked the governor for the gesture and assured to reciprocate by being more dedicated to their duties. Kusum Muhammad reporting for Standard Voice Television News.
The military, police and Department of State Services has begun massive raid of the hideout of hoodlums as a preemptive measure to curb violence during Saturday's general elections. As part of the crackdown, no fewer than 63 suspected thugs were arrested in Kano on Thursday after hoodlums attacked the new Nigerian People's Party supporters. It was learned that at least 4 persons were killed, while 10 vehicles were destroyed during the attack, which occurred at noon along Naibawa Zaria Road. Reports said the NNPP supporters were on their way to Kwanar Doguwa on the outskirts of the city to receive the party's presidential candidate, Rabiu Kwankwaso, when the incident happened. The public relations officer of the State Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ibrahim Abdullahi, confirmed the arrest of 63 suspects to newsmen. He said 40 suspected thugs were internally apprehended and handed over to the police, but another set of 23 suspects were also arrested in connection with the attack. President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday arrived in Daura, his hometown Katsina State, ahead of Saturday's presidential and National Assembly election. For more on the story, Zainab Abdulwasir reports.
The presidential jet touched ground at the Umaru Musa Yar'Adua Airport at exactly 4:41 p.m., 10 minutes after which the jet was opened for the president and his entourage to come down and proceed to the ride in a white helicopter. Governor Aminu Musari of Katsina State Some members of his cabinet, comprising the State Chief Judge, Justice Musa Dalladi Abubakar, Commissioner of Health, Engineer Yakubu Nuhu Danja, as well as the head of various security agencies, welcomed the #1 citizen. The president is expected to cast his vote in Saturday's presidential elections at the Sarkinyari A ward, consisting of 15 polling units in Daura local government area, Katsina State. Zainab Abdulwasi reporting for Standard Voice Television.
The Labour Party has asked the Independent National Electoral Commission to postpone election in Enugu East Senatorial District following the death of its candidate, Oyibo Chukwu. Mr. Chukwu was murdered on Wednesday alongside his personal assistant by some yet-to-be-identified gunmen. In its reaction to the shocking news, the Labour Party, in a statement by its national chairman, Barrister Julius Abure, said the postponement is essential as to enable the party conduct a fresh primaries and participate in the election. Abure argued that Enugu State is one of the states where the party enjoys maximum support and the Labour Party candidate was on course to win the Enugu East senatorial seat in the election. He asked INEC not to allow people to benefit or win election through other means, particularly by silencing a candidate who is loved by his people. On business. The Central Bank of Nigeria has told people who want to buy or sell foreign currency to talk to their banks first because it does not recognize the parallel market. The parallel market exchange rate is always different from the central bank rates. The rate of exchange between the US dollar and the Nigerian naira has a big effect on the Nigerian economy. Inflation overtakes the economy as the value of the naira declines, which typically has an effect on the populace. The central bank has called for Nigerians to work toward this objective, such as expanding export, and has stated that the country's economy needs a substantial turnaround. And on the international scene,
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Ahead of presidential election on Saturday, former Sierra Leone President Mr. Mike Koroma on Thursday led the Economic Community of West African States election monitoring team to the defense headquarters in Abuja. The acting director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tukur Gusau, made this known in a statement in Abuja. Mr. Koroma said their mission was to observe the conduct of the upcoming elections and ensure that the process was hitch-free. He said it was customary for ECOWAS to support member states, especially that a big brother country like Nigeria prepares to go to the polls to elect its leaders. Still on the international scene, US President Joe Biden has called for peaceful and credible 2023 general elections in Nigeria, saying the citizens deserve a chance to do so. The president made the call on his official handle Thursday, calling on all candidates to respect the election results and back a peaceful transition. Biden's message re-echoed the stance of diplomatic missions, which released a joint statement earlier. While welcoming the signing of the second peace accord by the candidates of parties competing in the upcoming presidential election, the diplomatic missions said they are fully committed to supporting all efforts that will ensure the Nigerian people decide who wins the election. They said it is vital for Nigerian stability and democratic consolidation that the process is conducted and concluded safely, fairly, and credibly. Still on the international scene, Pakistan's finance has been wrecked by years of financial mismanagement and political instability, a situation exacerbated by a global energy crisis and devastating flood that left a third of the country underwater last year. The South Asian country is deeply in debt and needs to introduce tough tax and utility price increases to unlock another trace of a $6.5 billion International Monetary Fund bailout and avoid defaulting. This week, the government raised taxes on luxury imports and services, saying only the rich elites would be affected. However, it also slashed fuel subsidies and increased a general sales tax, both of which will hit low-income families. And on sport, Chelsea are close to reaching a verbal agreement with Independiente del Valle over the signing of 15-year-old Ecuadorian starlet Candry Price. That's according to recent information from journalist Fabrizio Romani, who notes that any deal will see the 2007-born midfielder link up with Chelsea up turning 18. Price is considered to be one of the hottest prospects in South America. The 15-year-old recorded 16 goals in 18 matches at youth level for Independiente in 2022 and was awarded player for the tournament in the Salzburg next year competition last year. The transfer would be considered a considerable coup for Chelsea, given the several of Europe's elite clubs were in for the Ecuadorian. There were thought to be up to a dozen potential suitors in the Premier League alone, including the likes of Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool and Newcastle. And that's all on the news. To end the news, a recap of the major headlines. Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of training and manpower development urges politicians to question their supporters. Immigration closes border for 24 hours ahead of Saturday's poll. Governor Zulum shares money, food items and logistics to Almajri schools. On business, Central Bank of Nigeria has told people who want to buy or sell foreign currency to talk to their banks. On the international scene, ECOWAS election monitoring team visit the fence headquarters and seek for H-free process. On sport, Chelsea close to Candry Price agreement. Thank you for watching. I'm Sumaria, so I do have a pleasant day and keep watching Standard for Television News.